Good evening, everyone. It'll help me to understand the audience a bit if we go through who you all are, not by one, but I guess roles. If you're a coach, do you want to put your hand up? A developer? A recruitment consultant? They're bound to be here. Come on, don't be shy at the back. Analysts? Project managers? Awesome. It's quite a mix. Right, so I created this morning in true Agile fashion. If I died today, I didn't want to waste my time doing this too early, so it's just-in-time presentation. Using a tool I've never used before, so I thought, what the hell, I'd go for it. This is not me. And this is I guess, the name for tonight. So it's not my name, but I'm going to try and cover off what I'm doing under the umbrella of transformation and improvement. Who currently is doing some transformation work where they're working? Awesome. So not the next slide, but one after, I think you'll relate to. If you don't, tell me your secret. On the meetup site, this is the stuff Craig put together for me because I didn't respond to his email. I'm going to do this, hopefully, in the next 10, 15 minutes. So how do I find transformation? I find it hard. And to me, in my role, I need relentless motivation. Everyone I try to talk to, I'll get the numbers in a minute, but we can't give up on it. We have to get there. Decide, commit, succeed. So I'm being quite, I think, hopefully quite ruthless in my role at Sky. We're doing stuff, we're trying to do stuff, and we are going to succeed. We have to succeed. Sky's ambitions for the future, we can't not succeed, so people just have to accept that. I put a little note on there, don't confuse that with decide to commit suicide, because it is similar, and they're two very different things. One will not help me. I also have a bunch of stuff around personal motivation. Awesome. It's a personal insight into some of my musical tastes. Any Doors fans in the room? Awesome. Earth, Wind and Fire? Nice. Muse fans? Great. Rush fans? That's probably a dodgy one. Lovely. Iron Maiden, you're not dressed appropriately for Iron Maiden fans. I'm going to kind of allude to some of these songs throughout, just to give you a bit of a... So I get the train to work, and some mornings I'm thinking, what am I doing? It's really... I need to be reassured it's the right thing. And these guys give me some inspiration, so I just want to kind of loop that into my slides a bit. A bit about my history in Sky. Obviously, that's not the Sky logo, but we'll get to that in a minute. I joined Sky way back in 2006, and there was roughly 30 people back at Sky in 2006 working in technology. We offshored a bit of stuff, but we had a very small on-site development team. And way back then, I launched Sky.com. Then, obviously, that's not a typo. We did it again, because we did it badly the first time, and we adopted a lot of XP practices, and we employed a lot of great people. We did a lot of stuff in Groovy and Grails, lots of test-driven development, lots of small release cycles. And we relaunched Sky.com and went through, a year with maybe one live issue in a year. And we released every week. On the back of that, I started working on Sky News and Sky Movies, following the same kind of XP principles into those projects and to deliver the same kind of thing. Loads of pairing, loads of continuous delivery, really empowered teams. When we recruit people, it's a bit like what I'm going to come to later. I kind of think as a Scrum Master, you've got to take away excuses from people. So if you've got a delivery team, you want to make sure that if there's a particular issue, not because you've made them use a framework or you've made them use an operating system, it's because they made an error. And we were very good at that. So we empowered people, we employed some really bright sparks, and we carried that through. So after that stuff, I then became responsible for Now TV, and there's a few people, Craig, who organized this event, and Darren, they helped me on Now TV, which was great. Same kind of principles, and we launched Now TV, and that was great. And we started doing more Kanban, Lean, all kinds of stuff. And Sky, not just in my world, but everywhere, started doing a lot more of this stuff. We kept employing teams of people to deliver stuff for us. And we went from being 30 people back in 2006, we now have about 3,000 engineers at Sky. There's about 900 work in the department that I work in, so we've grown massively. It's a true quote, we have the largest software engineering department for a non-software engineering company at Sky. So we are huge. I'm kind of interested in what comes next as much as you guys are. And we're more than just the UK. So when I began at Sky, we were Osterley, we were Scotland, we're now Leeds, we're now Lisbon, we're now Milan, which is far nicer than Osterley, and we're now Munich. So we've kind of grown. And we've grown without really thinking about what does it mean to grow. So I've kind of have to try and fix that. Oh, no. I have to go back. So what we've done, we've created great engineering departments around Sky Store, Sky News. Have you guys seen Sky Q? It's a new Sky box. We just announced it. Who's a Sky customer? Yeah, you've got to buy one of them. Yeah. We've got Now TV, we've got Sky, like customer management stuff, Sky Go, Sky Sports. All these teams and departments are very isolated, standalone delivery organizations. We don't do really any, or we haven't done until recently, any cross-contamination, if that's a word I can use, which we need to change. So what's the problem we're trying to solve? Obviously, you guys all being in the world of Agile and want to do stuff, we should only do stuff if we have a problem. The problem we're trying to solve is, yeah, if anyone throws up, I'm not responsible for this. Silos. We have people who keep, next image, reinventing the wheel. When I first started doing Sky.com years ago, we built a content management system because that's what Sky.com needed. We probably now have 50 content management systems at Sky. We just keep building things over and over again. We keep robbing Peter to pay Paul. So if I'm delivering Now TV and I need some iOS developers, I'm going to go and find them. I don't care where from or what that does to the team I find them from. I'm just going to have them. We're very selfish, I think. We've been very selfish. There's a bunch of other stuff. State of matter. Who did chemistry at university? Anyone did chemistry? Awesome. You're very familiar. States of matter. So at the moment, I'd say we're very much in the gaseous state. We create and empower teams who can pick any technology they want. NoSQL, we've got Couch, we've got Mongo, we've got Cassandra. We could pick something else. Languages, they've got everything they want. Operating systems, Unix, many flavors of Linux. It's all really good. These are all really clever people who are creating things and going off and doing their own thing. But it doesn't really help if we want to try and bring people together and deliver something different, because everyone's got different skill sets. It's very hard for a person in Sky to transfer from team A to team B. So I'm trying, I only came with this thought this morning, I'm trying to get us more towards a liquid state. We still move a bit, but actually we can move that a lot more easily in life as we could with gas. But it's just about flow. I just want to try and get us to be able to solve more problems more quickly without re-educating everyone. There's a bunch of other stuff we're struggling with: training, recruitment, career progression, innovation, loads of stuff. But it's probably true of most companies, to be fair. I don't think this is just Sky. I think most companies probably aren't great across the whole board. What happens next? The clue's in the picture. Rush lyrics. So Sky management have decided they want to change something, which is great. So I've been employed to try and change stuff. So it's great that Sky, as a company, as a technology department, has said, we recognize there's a problem, let's do something about it. I'd probably listen to this song at least once a day, just to remind me of what we're trying to do. What am I trying to do? How am I taking that? Mooncrester. Who's played Mooncrester? Who knows the game Mooncrester? I'm now going to talk you through the game Mooncrester and how it applies to what I'm doing at Sky. Yeah, if you haven't played it, trust me, it's great. I used to be a runner, and it was the only game at Gateshead Stadium when I was a young lad. I used to spend all my money on it. It's 5 pence to go back then, but there you go. So Mooncrester. When you look at this video, think of me. There's a little spaceship going to come here. Think of me as the little spaceship, the one at the top, this one. Now, when you try and change a culture in a company, especially one that's been accustomed to delivering the way it's delivering, you're up against a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of random shit going on, and you're trying to shoot things. Not really shoot things, but you get the metaphor. And I'm trying. And you know what? When you think you've got rid of one wave, what happens is you get another bunch of shit to try and shoot. And this keeps going. So what I've been doing since I've started Sky, I've had a bunch of workshops, a bunch of sessions with people to try and tell them what I'm trying to do. I have a vision. We'll get to the vision in a second. I have somewhere where I think as a company, having worked for Sky, I think we all want to get to. A bunch of changes, philosophies, best practices. Because when you look back at the earlier slides around retention, recruitment, training, these all things are linked. And when you sit down with people, you want people to get that. You want people to kind of realize to improve the culture, we need to change all those bits. So I had big sessions in the loft with lots of people across the OTT department. And hopefully this is my last round of aliens, which I've struggled to get rid of on my own. I think you're getting for the build-up. And once I've got all those people I've talked to, I was told not to say this, but I'm going to say it, I want to dock with them. It's probably the wrong thing to say. They're not my words, they're the words of the game, so don't judge me. So once you've docked with someone, as I'm sure most people here would appreciate, you become much more powerful. And there's a number of people in this audience who I've docked with at Sky, and they're now helping me tackle the obstacles of culture change. And as you can see, we obliterate things a lot more quickly together. And I think that's, earlier slides were, Sky have decided, management have decided to do this, but what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find people within delivery teams, engineers, developers, scrum masters, who will help me. So I guess what I'm saying is we're taking a top-down and a bottom-up approach. Now then, we're also a unit. What we're doing, we're going out and finding more people. So they've got teams, these are scrum masters, then now with the delivery teams, we've got more people. And the point, I guess, of this video is to show that the more people you can get together with that same kind of vision, that same kind of drive, and that same kind of belief, the better it is. You've suddenly got a lot more influence, a lot more power. And what I'm trying to say to everyone I'm working with is, the more people who get on board, the quicker we'll make a change and the quicker we'll have an impact. Far out, look at that. See, happy days, far out. So what is the vision? The vision is, at Sky, this is our genuine vision within technology, to lead the industry in engineering practices and make Sky Technology the place where everyone looks for inspiration and guidance, both technical and cultural. We're not there yet, but that is what we're going to become. I have a bit of a problem, use Stockholm Syndrome. We've conditioned people in a certain way, and I'm trying to tell them it's a different world. A lot of engineers come and they want to kind of be creative, they want to be innovative. We are so product delivery focused at Sky that people lose that. And one example I give quite a lot is when we deliver a sprint, if you said you do 30 story points in your sprint and you've delivered 30 and there's 2 days left, rather than our guys going off and like reading a book or going for a run or going to join other mates in another team, they'll take more story cards. So they kind of fuel the business drive to deliver. At times we try to give them space, but they'll give up that space to do more story cards. And what I'm trying to say to the guys is there's more to do with as being an engineer than just delivering business value. You've got to grow yourself. You've got to do a lot more than just relentlessly deliver for the business. So I'm trying a lot to change a lot of behaviors, which is a challenge, but I've got a lot of good people now who are trying to help me. So this is my penultimate slide, which could be quite long. So just tell me when you want me to stop. Yeah? Awesome. So, a great song, Iron Maiden song. If you're going to die, die with your boots on. I don't want people to die at Sky. It's not the... Ignore that bit. The next two lines are probably better. But if you're going to try, if people are going to try, stick around. We can do something. If you're going to cry, people do. I don't know if you've been in one-to-ones. I've had them. People do cry. I guess the point is more if you're going to whinge about stuff and say we can't do that, you're not going to help. What we want are people who really believe to give us a go. And I guess I say this to a lot of people, start acting like your role dictates. If you're an engineer, you've got a responsibility. It's not just to cut corners, to deliver software quickly. You've got to build quality in. You've got to grow yourself. You've got to mentor people. You've got to reach out to the departments. And the same if you're a team lead. If you're a team lead, act like one. So I guess I'm trying to say to people, do it properly. Give it a go and do it properly. So since I've been back at Sky, part of my remit is to reboot communities, to try and encourage cross-departmental collaboration. And we have loads of communities. There's some guys here tonight who are my community leads, who drive some really great stuff in this area. So communities to us are technology-driven, so Java, JavaScript. We have other things like training, like innovation. We're trying to get people who work in different departments to start coming together as a community to drive innovation and drive change. The communities also have a load of speakers. So last year we attended a lot of events as part of Sky. So we had speakers at DroidCon, at Angular Connect, MongoDB days, DevOps. We're trying now to pool together our really good engineers and get them a more external visible profile, which is going pretty well across many areas. We're trying to improve collaboration so that we've got a big drive at Sky to do a lot more around, we're calling internal open source. I don't know if you guys, do people here do internal open source? Is that a common term? It's when we try and build things that more than one team will use. So we're trying to establish a set of reusable, co-built common components. And it's the communities that are driving that. We've brought in a bunch of new tools, so Slack. Anyone use Slack? Or tools like Slack? That to us, given that we're kind of geo-split, is a huge tool which helps collaboration and knowledge sharing. We want to establish and evangelize best practice. I've been at Sky a long time. I was in a team recently where the product owner wanted to add a new thing to the backlog. And one of the devs stepped in and said, if you add one thing in, you take two things out. That's Agile. I don't know if you've heard that before. I hadn't heard it until that day. That is not part of our best practice. So we're trying to establish what do we mean by delivery? What do we mean by definition of done? What does good look like for us? And we're trying to roll it out across the department, which, given the numbers we talked about at the start, is quite a challenge. We started using things like GitHub, so all our code goes into GitHub now. Again, it was very hard for people to collaborate if you had a Subversion repository stashed in your own local server somewhere that nobody had access to. All of our code now goes into GitHub, and everyone gets to see what everyone else contributes to. There's a whole load of other stuff in here that I could talk about. The one last thing I'm going to mention is health checks. We want to try and, the way I pitch this, we want to try and give our engineering teams the support they need. So we're running health checks to find out all these things we've said we now believe in, all these kind of new cultural changes we've said we now value, are they getting the opportunity to get involved in those things? So we've run a health check across 72 Scrum teams. Some teams were mature enough and already ran health checks, which is great. Others had never even come across the idea of stepping back and looking at their kind of practices and techniques. We've run that, and we're going to try and run them every quarter just to try and see all the initiatives we're trying to bring into the department actually getting some kind of traction and making a difference. Lovely, done. Thank you. Great book I'd recommend people read around transformation and change. There's a book called How to Change Things When Change is Hard. It's called Switch. It costs like £6. I'd recommend if people are interested to read it. And that's just a happy song. Lovely. Thank you.